Hey guys, we're here at the Global Fintech Festival 2025, which is the largest fintech festival in all of Asia. Now, India has made huge progress in the digitization of payments. In fact, over 80% of Indian households own a smartphone today, and over 50% of the global digital payments happen in India in a single day. We have over 400 million users in India that have been onboarded as far as digital payments is concerned. So very exciting times, and we're here at the largest fintech festival in Asia. Let's go. So India is on track to become a fintech hub of the world. A World Economic Forum survey indicated that the fintech market in India is currently valued at over $100 billion and is all set to hit over $500 billion by 2030. So as we know, India is now on its path to become a digitization hub of the world. More than 50% of digital payments happen in India compared to the rest of the world. So it's, a big milestone that we see. Gautam Aggarwal is here with us of Mastercard. Gautam, tell us a little bit about how the journey has been so far. And it's a massive growth opportunity that we have in India, right? Tell us a little bit more about that.
See, the journey that India has seen, particularly in the last maybe 5 to 10 years, is just something outstanding. People give big numbers like the one you just said, 50% of the world's digital payments. I still see those as small numbers. I think India has such more opportunity today that we're not even talking about that. But let's just talk a little bit about the history here, right? Really, for the success that India has achieved, what we need here is three ingredients. You need innovation. So you want technology players that are innovating regularly. And you want a regulator that is supporting sort of that innovation, which is where I think India has done a fantastic job. I repeat this in every forum that I'm in. We probably have the most progressive regulator when it comes to digital payments in the world, right? I have not seen such progressive regulation come out from any other country than what we see out of India. The third is a consumer adoption that is willing to take all of that in. We are seeing all of that. The scale that India has to offer is unparalleled to any other country. And that's really caused what we are seeing, happen in India. But, the 150 billion or 160 billion, whatever that number is today of digital transactions that are happening in the country today, I still believe there's a lot more. To put it in perspective, around 900 million Indians are playing part in the financial ecosystem of the country. They're buying and selling. They're part of the GDP, if I were to use that word, consumer GDP. About 900 million people are buying and selling every day, of which only about 350 odd are digitally active on payment systems. We talked about that number earlier also, right? So there are about 650, whatever that balance is, 900 minus 350, 550. They aren't using digital payment systems, or they aren't using them enough. They're still using cash and other form factors. In the 350 that are giving us 150, 160 billion transactions a year, add the other twice that, and that is still very early because people are using digital payments, still use other form factors as well, like cash for other transactions.
So we were talking about how India currently has over 400 million users on digital apps or digital payment apps, right? For the next 300 or next 400 million to come on board, what do you think is the need of the hour?
The most important need of the hour is credit access. Why do I say that? If you look at the 350 million consumers, let's first talk about 350, then we'll go to the next. In that 350 million, only about 50 million have some sort of credit. I don't even want to say card. They have the facility of using credit. The other 300 million actually have no facility to use credit. And then the other 350 million that are part of the financial ecosystem don't even have any, access to credit. Compare that to China. China has 450 million unique credit card users, right? I'm using the word credit card because that's the only form factor that exists there, cards, right? I think in India, there's a huge opportunity to get from that 50 million unique credit users to bring that number higher up. The problem I see is today that is available only through 6 or 7 major issuers in the country. So only about 6 or 7 banks today comprise of 90-95% of credit issuance that is happening in the country. If we were to remain with those 6 to 7 banks contributing to the growth that India needs, at best they can stretch that number to 100, 150 in the next 10 years. If we want to get to 200, 250, 300, we need the participation to come from outside of those banks, right? So the smaller banks that are pushing hard, so the PSU banks that are out there, I think all of those would be needed to help grow that story. So that's one area. For that, I think the banks have to change the way they are operating. Maybe new economic models have to be taught how to do credit issuance, as an example, the ones that are not doing it. So that's sort of one thing. The other thing is education. I think there is still a lot of consumers out there that are worried about digital payments. They don't trust digital payments. They'll see this WhatsApp clipping where somebody's money got stolen because of, using digital payments and fraud happened or whatever. I think part of it is true. Fraud can happen. With digital payments, fraud happen, and our job is to prevent that. But there's a lot of education that needs to be imparted. Consumers have to be told that they are, in fact, digital payments today is the safest way to pay, right? Be it QR, be it, contactless, they are the safest way to pay. More importantly, you can track your payments. You know where you've done your transactions. If you are a middle-class family that is budgeting your spend, there's no better tool to help you budget your spend than to look at your past payment statements and say, where did I spend the money? And today you have to use cash. I think that's another area, consumer education. Third, I think, is between all the emerging technologies that we are seeing, whether it is what we've just recently announced with passkeys. We announced passkeys last year at GFF, but with RBI now approving alternate authentication framework, biometric authentication has become a reality. So passkeys will enable consumers to actually trust digital payments a lot more and almost remove the friction that exists through OTPs or other second factor of authentication for that to go away. So I believe passkeys and contactless payments in general will create more opportunities for people to use digital payments that they have not, like wearables. People will start using their watches, their rings, a bangle if that's what they have. Maybe it's embedded in your clothes. You walk out of a store and a payment has happened. You don't even know a payment has happened because you're very comfortable doing that. That is what this will enable, right? So that's one. The other, very early to say, but I'm a big believer that agentic commerce, when people will start using these AI-enabled agents to do activities for them, maybe authenticate them or pay for it on their behalf. Very early days, very specific use cases. People are talking about travel being one of them. Somebody booking a nice itinerary for you. I can see a scenario where you go into stores, come out of stores, where you don't actually pay in your consciousness. You actually pay in your subconscious, where you go about walking in and out of the store, and whatever you're carrying with you automatically gets charged for, deducted from whatever payment mechanism you have, because you have an agent working on your behalf. It's something that's sitting in your pocket or somewhere else as a variable that did all the job, right? That's the future. And I think that will take this to a different level altogether.
It was great speaking to you. Thank you so much and all the best with your journey at
Thank you.
Mastercard.